You all, I know you have a big heart. You always putting, but it's me, my time to shine. Stop trying to share everybody else. Genuine you are. I know you want everybody to win, but you gotta win first before everybody else. But I'm like, well, if God has me in that position to win, I'm gonna win regardless of no matter what.
What's the name of Uncle Poochie's podcast? 6 Feet Under. 6 Feet Under podcast.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever it's next week you listen to another episode of 6 Feet Under Podcast. I am the Top 9 host with Certificate Ignorant Uncle Poochie. She's here.
I like when you do that.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Good morning, beautiful people. It is your girl. I am Tarika Lachey, aka Memaw, in the building. You see it, me and Uncle Pooch, and it's the Black Panther. Don't call me no cougar, Black Panther.
Wow.
I forgot to do that, huh?
You better chill out there, Killmonger. What's up, y'all? As y'all can see, we got another family member back at the table. Ignore my audio, it's echoing. It's gonna be like that. But Memaw, appreciate you for being here today. You could have been anywhere in the world. You decided to come here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this opportunity.
I appreciate that. So before we even get deep into it, Memaw, or what you want to call you? Because I always call you Memaw. I never call you government.
I can be Tarika Lachey. I just go straight into Memaw. Anyone you want. Anyone you talk to, I'm going to answer. I'm like a Gemini. Both of my personalities, I go right into them.
Well, as a Gemini, I can definitely give you the stamp of approval. You definitely like one. But I'll call you Tarika for the time period. But you and I met when we did a competition back in February in Sacramento called Black Memento. And what's funny is I didn't even realize you had a wig on. I thought you was an old ass lady.
Everybody is so fun. And I think it's the actress in me because I've been an actress all my life, and I think that's what people don't understand is that it's the actress in me. How many people, when I go into the show, how many people can I trick into thinking that I'm this old lady? You should see how many be sliding in my DMs, but I be like, I ain't got no AARP or no Social Security check, so bye, boy.
You had me fooled. Okay, no disrespect, but the friend you was with, I remember we were talking, and I said, "Oh yes, ma'am. I'm sure I do." And she looked at me like, "Wait, what?" Y'all played it too good. I thought y'all was definitely some Golden Girls. Okay,
but I've always, ever since a little girl, you know how people say old souls? Like one of my best friends is in her 80s. Like a lot of that, what people don't understand is, my jokes are real. They're either from me talking about my children, or it's coming from something that me and my aunt went through, my grandma, like everybody, like how everybody said my grandma, like literally the only difference between me and Memaw is that wig. Is that wig. Ever since I was a little girl, all my friends were older. My mom used to always say, Tarika, they too old for you. You can't have friends. You can't be in elementary and have high school friends. And I'm like, Mama, these girls at my school can't teach me nothing. My mom, I'm telling you, I've always, ever since a little kid, I've always, went towards older women. Even, in my life. I got married at 19, so I thought I was already grown then. But it didn't work out. But
I was about to ask. It
didn't work out. I just think I just want to hurry up and, in them days, no shacking up. You ain't shacking up. Yeah. I ain't shacking up. I get married in Reno. Pay $2, get this marriage certificate so I can get it on. Now,
I'm not gonna ask you how old you was, since you said you like older. But can you tell us how long it lasted?
My 10 years.
Oh, girl, that ain't bad.
We went 10 years, and I have a beautiful daughter for that. So it's no I would say I don't have any regrets because I have a beautiful daughter from that marriage, and I grew, we had fun, we were young, we had a lot of fun, but then some people grow up and that's what happens. So yeah,
And,
but
and and that's actually why I wanted to hear today, because you were talking about growing up, and it's funny because we met at a time where I was definitely coming into my own growth, so I was able to learn things about myself while also learning things from others and still keeping myself. Does that make sense?
yes,
And so one thing I've learned from a person like you, who I've known for a short amount of time, is that you can have yourself and have like your outer self and still be okay. Does that make sense? I, I,
yeah,
I just think a lot of people in your position, in my position, get really caught up in the person they're trying to become, and that they forget.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And even for myself, I know we'll talk about it later,
Mm,
but and I was thinking this morning, I truly believe that I entered that contest to meet you. You know what I'm saying? Because because I mean, I appreciate everything. Michael Calvin Jr., shout out to you and that whole thing. Shout out
Shout out
Sacramento,
Sacramento,
Blackramento. But
Blackramento.
I felt like we had a connection even before we met. And when we met in real life, I would say in real life it was like a connection because I felt that I was fresh into the game. I really didn't um enter myself into that competition. My friend that you were talking to, she felt like I was ready. I kept saying, no, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. She was like, yes, you are ready. And she was like, and if I need to put the money down, I'll put the money down into it. You're going to do it. Stop pushing yourself. But I know for me, the struggle is because I am Memaw, and then some people do find out, that I'm not actually that old woman. And I've had, like some comedians like, when are you going to be your real self? Or um, when are you going to change to yourself and not be Mima? And what I'm saying is, some I kind of feel like they feel like the only reason why people like you is because you this old woman. If you wasn't an old woman, but I've been hosting events, I've been doing things. Like I said, the only thing that separates me from Mima is that wig.
Mm-hmm.
And even one of my little sisters, I have two younger sisters. My little sister Precious, like, don't be trying to hide behind Mima. That's the real you. People should know that Mima is just you, the real you. You
Mm-hmm.
get to be the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I truly feel like I could be myself, but I'm in my own. I'm not saying I'm in my own, not in my own lane. I feel like that because there's other, people that's out there that is not.
Mm-hmm.
Another person that, and like I said, I've been doing this. I was like, I wish I can go into high school because some of the stuff that I say now, me and my friend Kim used to do like lunchtime pop up performances on the courtyard, and we'll be like these old ladies and adding pearl and all this stuff. So like it's just all coming in to, you know, um, into it. And so I just feel like Mima is who I want. You can know Tarika Lachey,
Mm-hmm.
but Mima is who I want out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch now, what's the difference between, like, say, Tyler Perry? You know what I'm saying? Medea, y'all love Medea. Y'all go pay big money to see Medea. Y'all know Medea ain't really who Medea is, but that's okay. But because I'm doing stand up, is that what the problem is?
No, I'll tell you what the problem is. They couldn't do it. Okay, that is the only problem. Any person, especially in the field of stand-up comedy, who tells you you need to switch up, they're just mad that they didn't get to think of that first. You know how many people told me when I first started, I'm not gonna call you uncle, and I was like, why? They was like, because I'm older than you, and I was like, so you're older than every uncle in the world? Like, there's not an uncle younger than you, and that would quickly shut them up because they realized what I was telling them. Like, you're kind of being a hater. I asked you to call me my name, and you can't call me my name. you want to call me a name that you want to call me. Why? Because you don't want to respect it, or you just mad that you see me out here getting it. Now, I'm not even trying to pick myself to flex, but it is just one of those things where no, you remain Memaw because you know where the line with Memaw and your actual self in. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
would only be a problem if you couldn't get out of the Memaw character. You know,
Yeah.
like if you couldn't separate who Mima is and who you are as a mother, as a daughter, as a friend. And when that starts to take up your life, that's when it's like we need to chill.
Yeah. Because
But
it's the actress in me. You know,
mhm,
you create a character,
yeah,
and that character have a life of her own. Like people, and how I knew. So let's just go back because I know you want to ask me about it. So how Memaw was discovered because I was
hmm
getting ready to tell you something, but we'll just go. Is that okay? Am I taking over your show?
no,
You supposed to ask me the question so I can
take over the show, Queen.
ask me the question so I won't feel
Nope,
like.
take over the show, Queen.
Okay, so as I said, I was into acting and I kind of, stopped. Life gets in the way and you feel, I've always had a dream of being an actress. And I remember a guy many years ago was like, you're never too old to become an actress. They will always need actors of all ages for the rest of your life. And now that's happening. So I had did like plays and things of that nature, been in a couple of did a couple of cameos in some movies, but of course, life gets in the way. I became a mom, became focused on work, and then that kind of halted, right?
Mhm.
And so during the pandemic, I was just losing so many family members. I believe in like within 3 month period, I lost 10 people and I was just going to like a dark place. I was sad. Then they shut us down. Now I'm a people person. I love to be out and talk to people. So now I'm in the house, away from my family, away from my friends. People are dying on me. So I was going into a dark place. I was just sad, crying. And one day I'm like, I did little videos on the side. But then one day I looked and I seen an old wig that I had from a play that I was in. And the first video I did, and it was about, I was getting tired of hearing, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And I'm like, you don't have to, everybody should be washing their hands. Why do we have commercials and campaigns about washing your hands? And so I just put that wig on and I did that video. Don't tell me to wash my hands. And my grandma used to always like when she come in the house, when she come from the grocery store, she wiping off her cans, she wiping off sodas, water. She like washing that all down. She been said that. She's like, you don't know what people be digging in their nose and they booty and carrying on. You don't know what they be doing. You gotta wipe this stuff down. They be sitting rats and stuff. And she will always say that. And then she will always make us soak in Hexol. I don't even know if they still have Hexol.
That sounds
Have
illegal.
you ever heard of Hexol?
Mm,
And she used to put that in our water. It kind of smelled like pine saw. I don't know if we were supposed to, but we used to take
We had
baths in that.
we had Comet where I was from.
Oh, common. We had Hexol. So my grandma
Mm.
would put that in our water. So that's what I was kind of said. I was like, I bet you if you put a little Hexol in here, the coronavirus, be all right. So I made that video and just was, did it for like my little friends on Facebook and Instagram. And then it was like a few people start laughing. They like the video. So I'm like, okay. And then people start, I did another video. And then I just did a little bit. And then people start asking, when you doing your videos? I'm like, y'all watching them? For real? And they like, yes, we watch them. It was like, you entertaining us. I said, this is, and entertaining people makes me happy. It brings me joy. That's like a therapy for me to, when I see people laugh and having a good time and enjoy what I'm doing, that brings me joy. So then I started doing it again. And then one of my sisters in Christ, shout out to Sister Stephanie,
Hey.
that's my boo. She is a Zumba instructor, UJAM instructor, raw mixed vegan, all that. Pound business, sister. I gotta give a shout out to
Hey.
and so she was like, they had a block party
Hmm.
and she was like, "You want to bring Memaw to the block party?" I said, "Memaw don't come outside. This is just something I'm playing with." And she was like, "No, the world needs to know who Memaw is." She was like, "Sis, you are entertaining. I love Memaw." And I was like, "Really?" She like, "Yes. Do you got any pictures?" So I was like, "No." So I went outside and took like some selfies outside, and then she fixed it up real nice, and then she put it, and then I did like a little dance video, and she hooked it up, and it looked good. And it's like, block party special guest Memaw Jenkins, and I was like, "Oh, what? Oh no!" It was like, "What's your name?" I was like, "I ain't got a name. This lady don't have no name." And I was like, Memaw, I guess, It was like, I don't know. I never gave her a name. It's just. So she, made the flyer, and I went to her block party, all in character, dressed up. You can catch it. And so, she introduced me. So then she goes, "Tarika, do I tell these people that you not real? These people think that you are really an old lady. They asking me, are you my grandma? How do I know you? How awesome you are?" She was like, "What I do? They think you real." I was like, "Well, just wait till I leave and tell them." Don't tell them until I leave. She was like, "Okay." So she had to break it. And so she called me. She like, "Wow, they really," she was like, "Sis, you have something." And I was like, "I do." And then I have another friend. Am I talking too much? Because I
No,
can
no,
talk.
no,
Just give me a.
you fine. All I want to say about that is, again, like I said, I thought you were an old woman, and ironically, y'all, I don't know how about a luck of draw because you really draw numbers. Mima went right before my set, tore it
Yeah.
up. She did great.
Thank
She did so great that she moved on and I didn't. But
you.
what was funny, as I'm listening to your set, I'm talking to Michael Calvin. Shout out to Michael Calvin again. And he tells me she's not an old woman. And honestly, that was the worst thing I could have heard because I'm in there with my jokes, and then as I get told you're not an old woman, right as I'm about to go on after you, I forget everything I'm about to say. So I'm like, yo, she came in character, she got a whole thing, like, and it just blew me out the water. So I went up there and I
No.
literally wet the bed because I started thinking too much. So I mean, I'm not blaming you for
No,
that. It
you
was
gonna
just,
blame it on me.
I'm not gonna blame you for how bad I did. No,
You
no, no,
blame
no,
Michael
no, no.
Calvin for telling you about that. So
It's
you
Michael
take
Calvin's
you the
fault.
blame.
It's Michael Calvin.
It's
Nah,
Calvin's fault. Don't say
but
that.
no, that was when I found out. That was when I found out literally right before you went on. I mean, right before I went on stage that you were, in a character. I'll say, and honestly, as you said earlier, like you did the competition to meet me. I mean, I can say the same thing about you because I, at that moment, knew I need to step my game up. There were people who had full-fledged characters that they had fleshed out that people thought that they were truly them. And I'm sitting up here doing jokes from 2 years ago. I said, okay, I need to step my game up. So I've been meaning to tell you that. Thank you for the motivation right there. That was very inspiring that night.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you, Pooch.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this woman has it. Because it was funny because even your friend looked older in the scenario with me because she was with you. So I was like, oh yeah, these like my grandma. And then it's like, yo, no, they ain't not. Because I feel like your friend must have caught on that I thought she was older too. She was like, I'm not that old.
Yeah,
I'm not,
I'm not that old.
not that old.
No, or some people call her my daughter. They be like, "Your daughter, your mama got it." I be like, "Yeah, baby, you better shut up. You better shut up.
Bitch, shut up, shut up.
I'm your mama. I'm
but
your mama."
but I did want to piggy on something that you did say about like when you were doing the character or when you got invited to do the character. At one point, did you ever feel like, yo, I like I'm not good enough, or I'm a fraud, or
I did, yeah.
yeah,
Well, not even that I'm a fraud.
mhm,
It's just you get to it like, oh man, um, they really think that I am, because a lot of people say your mannerisms are of an old woman, the way you do your mouth, the
mhm,
way you do your eyes.
mhm,
But like I said, it brings joy to me because that's the actress in me.
yeah,
That means that I'm playing the part.
mhm,
But I never, that was just me, as an actress. I still wasn't even thinking about doing stand up at
Mm-hmm.
all. It was just like, videos and TikToks and little skits like that. I still was not thinking of doing stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it was just exciting. Like, well, people really, my friend was like, "Can you host the show?" And then I was like, she was like, "Do you want to host it?" I was like, "Do you want?" She was like, "But I don't know if I want Memaw or if I want Tarika Lachey." And Tarika Lachey, I've always hosted. I hosted events when I was in college. I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of the life on campus and stuff. So I've always hosted things and did things and always been funny all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Did people be like, do Wanda, do Shanae, that's how I've always did that. But when they start bringing Memaw out and people like, no, people need to know Memaw. People love Memaw. Even people that I know that knows who I am be like, bring Memaw. Where Memaw at? Where Memaw at? Like literally, I forgot that on Facebook, some of the vice principals of my school was on my page, and some people that I work with, and usually you professional, so at work I'm working professional. They know I joke everything, but you forget everybody who's on there, like all the church people, everybody, and I'm not, in certain areas they don't know how funny that I truly am because I'm this person, and
Yeah.
I forgot. So that exposed a whole everybody like, oh, so even when I went to school, they like, where Memaw at? We need Memaw. We need a little laughter because this is they had a stressful day. And I'm
Yep.
like,
And let me tell you something. That in itself can become stressful because
yeah,
now you feel like you become part of people's day. I'll tell you a short story because you brought up something with that Facebook stuff, right? I started my podcast in December of 2019. This very podcast we talking on. I started this almost 3 years ago, right?
yes,
Yeah.
go.
I did not mean for this to get this far. I went
See,
I went through a breakup. And it wasn't more so the breakup that made me start the podcast. It was the aftermath of the breakup and how I felt about myself. And I didn't. I'll say it now, but I didn't know then. Like I was a serial monogamist, but I didn't know how to be monogamous.
Ooh,
I wanted to be in love, but I didn't know what it cost, you know. And so I was in these relationships, in and out, in and out, never by myself. So I finally am single, right? And I start a podcast, and it's just supposed to be something I'm gonna do for like a couple of weeks, maybe. And it was therapeutic because at the time I was a drinker. I was a
yeah,
huge alcoholic. Pretty much ended all my relationships because I was bad. Like my family was like, "You need to get your life together.
yeah.
You're sinking." And one day after begging my mom to let me come back and stay with her, because they said you can go because my alcoholism had tore me up. My
Mm-hmm.
mama let me come back and stay with her. Well, my mom and dad, let me say that. I was with my mom, but because dad's not always cool stick. But I came back, stayed with my parents, and one day I just started a podcast, and I started talking about stuff I never told people. I mean, childhood traumas to my adult mistakes to infidelity, and no one listened. Not a soul
No.
listened. No one listened. The first month I did this, no one listened. I got on Apple Podcasts and I was just joking around. And I said, if you want to be nosy, here's the link to my podcast. I would appreciate it if y'all listen to it. Only if you want to be nosy. And I had, I think, like 10 episodes. And the day I posted that, I think I only had like 30 listens total on all 10 episodes. And I'm sure they was off like maybe my ex-girlfriend. And after I said this on Apple Podcasts, I kid you not, the next day, Tarika, I had almost over 1,000 listens on all 10
Look,
episodes.
you better testify. Look at that.
And it gets funny. So after that, I see the numbers, and I'm like, maybe I got something. So at the time, I'm working in an office, And I don't know how it even came up, but someone asked me a question. And I said, I don't know. No, they said, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm working on my podcast. And everybody looked, they were like, you have a podcast? I was like, yeah. And they were like, seriously? Yeah. And they were like, what you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I sent it to them. Now, mind you, I'm at work. This is where the story gets bad. That podcast, which we talking about right now, took on a life that I never expected. My whole job, listen, people were literally walking up. At the time, I would record in the morning because I'm an early bird. I wake up at like 4 in the morning. That's my old self. Almost every day I wake up at 4 in the morning. And I record. Well, I did back then. I record, and the episode would be up by 6 o'clock in the morning. So my coworkers would listen on the way to work.
See, look it.
Cool. Then the pandemic hit. And they wanted to see how committed people were to their life or to their work. And my job found my podcast, and they listened, and they said, you're fired. No, for reasons that I don't really want to get into, some people had decided to start a podcast because I inspired them, and they went about it the wrong way. They talked about the wrong stuff. They included like where they work. They talked about things that just were like, come on, man. Like you said, Facebook professionalism is just playing around. Like people don't realize that people can separate sometimes Memaw from Tarika or Tarika from Memaw. And so my job ended up firing these 2 young ladies for that podcast, and they were inappropriate. They said, we got fired, you too. And it was at that moment, I said, this is what I'm supposed to be, God. That was a great job. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my life. But if this had the impact, at that point when I got fired, my podcast had just started streaming in Europe. And I said, this is what I'm supposed to be, God. This is what I'm supposed to be. I never thought it would take that far. So I just want to tell you, I applaud you for taking that step and posting yourself on Facebook, because people don't realize this takes a lot of courage.
It does.
You start off doing it for fun, and then you, by the grace of God, just are still in it. And you're realizing that, yo, like this is now like somewhat a job.
Right. And I just want to congratulate you on it, and congratulations to you, and you're doing an amazing job. Like I said, I am so thankful that I had the opportunity to meet you, and that we are able to communicate, because I communicate with you all the time, even before. You were just grateful and putting the video together for us to get the promotion. And they like, ooh, Memaw, you doing it big. Thank you, Pooch. Uncle Pooch.
Well, that is the thing is, now I've been doing this now for 3 years, and it's becoming easier to see people's character, and I mean that with no shade to no one.
No. I know exactly.
I mean that to no shade to no one, because I am not perfect. So I'm not going to sit here and say like, well, this person's less credible, this like that. No, but it's just it's apparent. It's apparent. I do things for free sometimes just to kind of see where people's character is, because to me at this point, some things I can do for free because I can do it so quickly, and some things I charge for because it's just like, I don't like your character. I'll keep 100 with people. I charge you more if I don't like.
I was like, what's your cash app? What to do? You were like, no.
No, you were like, what's your cash app? I said, no, it's all good. But I'll be, but all it be, you were the only person that said that. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't mean that as shade. I don't mean that as shade.
I know.
I just mean that
I believe in supporting and support my people, not asking for a discount when I do it.
In that,
I love all people, but I believe in supporting us when we're trying to do something. It's really important that we help each other. We stick together. We're not asking for a discount. We're paying the full price. We're doing everything that we would do with everybody else, and that's just me. Period. And
you can't teach people that. I don't spend my time. That's why I told you when you said that some people be like, well, when you gonna be the real you? This is the real me.
This is the real. This is the real me. And another thing is too, because I do work with kids every day. So Memaw was like my alter ego, where it connects me, disconnects me from my kids, from my well, at least I thought that it connected me from students and like parents. So it would be a way. I don't do it, as you can see. I don't use profanity at all. Everything that I do is basically clean comedy. And I know that that's something that I pray for. I was like, God, let me be able to shine. I know how successful like Sinbad was without his, with clean comedy. I know it's the guy in Oakland named Jay Red. I believe he's clean comedy, and I really and that's something that I wanted to be able to do so that Memaw has a children's following. There's a lot of parents that say that their kids love Memaw. When I do shows, little kids run up to me, hug me, love me. I don't know if it's because like that grandma figure. So when I did start questioning myself, when people were saying, when don't I know one person in particular that told me, he just said that he knows that I have talent and he don't want me to be stereotyped as Memaw, but I know that he was he's genuine about what he was saying. He was just saying, make sure that I break it up if I wanted to be successful and don't get stuck there. But as far as Memaw, I can't lie, I start questioning myself, and should I do this? I started being all in my head, and I started questioning myself. I was still early. Nobody don't really know who I am. At least I thought that nobody knows who I am until I go places and people do, and I'm like, well, you ain't never liked nothing. You ain't never hit nothing. You watch all my videos.
Pause, because we're going to talk about that. Okay, I agree with you 110% everything you just said, because just last year, legitimately, again, I always have to preach everything with no shade, especially when you're a black person. But my brother graduated from college, graduated from TSU. Shout out to him.
Hey, give it up, brother.
And so my little brother graduates from college. I'm originally from Tennessee. Okay, I live in California now, but I'm originally from Tennessee. So I moved away when I was 10. My younger siblings never lived there, so they don't really know the people from Tennessee like I know them. So like it's a little different feel when I go back. I grew up there, right? So we're at my brother's graduation, and I see somebody that my mama went to high school with. And I go to ask her a question. She answers the question, and I say, okay, no problem. I start to walk away, and she says, no problem, Uncle Pooch. And I just turn around, and I'm like, huh? And again, no shade, but this woman is not my demographic. She is a good 20 plus years older than me. And I'm like, this ain't my demographic. These folks don't know me. Nobody knows me. Because as you said, I never liked the picture, ain't never liked the post, ain't never reshared the post, ain't never did none of that. So in my head, I'm just talking to my phone. I'm just talking to my phone. Ain't nobody talking to me back. I'm just talking to my phone. We get to the graduation party. One of my cousins says, let's take a picture. And I'm like, cool, let's take a picture, whatever. And he goes, I want to take a picture with the man with sophisticated ignorance.
See?
And I go, huh?
Right. Look.
And at this point, it finally dawns on me. Everybody's paying attention. Everybody sees.
They are.
They all see you.
I done been places and like, what? And one of my high school friends that I graduated, he was like, me and my daughter listen to Memaw. We love Memaw. We watch your videos. And I'm like, what? People be like, Memaw. And I'm like, I don't see it.
I don't see it.
But, like you said, no shade. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But it's just when, people, like recently I just did First Fridays. Mm. That was a blessing. That was crazy. Thank you. In Oakland, my town, it was thousands of people out there. Thank you, Pooch. And people, like, literally, I was walking down the street, they like, Memaw! And I'm like...
Hell, I was like, Memaw. I saw you on stage, and I was like, Memaw!
I love your videos. I've been watching. I'm like, huh?
Hmm?
Memaw. This dude was like, oh, you had she is funny. I seen her in Sally. Oh, you about to go up there? And I'm like, what? I was in a fashion show here in Stockton, and one of the
Nice
young
talking.
ladies, give it up to Trendy Boutique. She was like, she loved me, Ma. She said, "You gonna represent for like the aunties, the mom, like the older women, because her shop, everybody thought." It's younger women, so no older. So when I wore some stuff, it's older women like, oh, they got that in there, So I did that, and so I remember I was doing a fashion show, and this guy he was a Mexican guy, and he was like, "Yo, Mima," and I was like, "What? I know you from Instagram," and I was like, "Wow." It was just so crazy to me, and I'm just like, Mima. And then I had another young I one of my shout out, I'm giving all these shout outs, shout out to Aaron. He does open mic nights here in Stockton, and I did it, and it was a lot of young teenagers there, and one of the young guys reached out to me in the inbox and like, Mima, keep shining, I love watching your videos, you encourage me, and thank you for your kind words, and keep shining and making everybody's day. And I'm like, okay, God, you telling me to keep going. Mima is not gonna stop. She's gonna continue. And period.
Period.
Mima's here to stay.
That's it.
Mima's here to stay. All you saints, ain'ts, and can'ts ain't going nowhere.
And
Period. The people
and
that's on Mary had a little lamb.
that look and see the beauty of that is that, and I don't know, I don't care how cocky this makes me sound. At this point, I know somebody's looking up to me. I know somebody's looking at this, and they're like, "Yo, in a good way, he did it. I can do it." People have actually said this to me. Like, I wouldn't just on a podcast. You said it was possible, so I did it. And once I realized my impact, I was like, I'm never stopping. If
Never. Don't
anything,
stop.
all I can think back now is like how impactful my words can be. So if anything, it taught me the power of that I had in my words and my actions and how they affected others. Because prior, remember I said I was an alcoholic. I didn't realize none of that. I just talked, said what I wanted, did what I wanted, took what I wanted, and within reason.
Congratulations on your journey.
And a year and a half later now, I'm like, nah, son, I can just say, because the first year I had my podcast, I was still alcoholic, so I was still saying nonsense. Like I got episodes I can read it. I'm like, what the? Delete.
What did I just say?
What did I just say? 100 people listen already. Like, no. But it's one of those things where, yeah, no, you must not go anywhere. And it's funny how life blesses you like that. I had my cousin. My cousin came out here with me, and we were in Sacramento. And we were walking out of all places. We were walking through like a Michael's, and I'm trying to find. I can't remember. I think a picture frame or something. And somebody is walking behind me, and I walk past them. So I turn around and walk past them, and he goes, "You just walk past me like that, Uncle Pooh?" Was not anticipating that. And my cousin's with me, and he's like, they call you that? And I'm like, yeah, apparently so. I mean, I knew the guy from around the way, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. Like, the only time we saw each other was on social media. So the fact that he was like, yeah, man, what's up, Uncle Pooh? Like, I'm sure he don't even remember my real name at this point. And it was cool because it let me know that guy actually got a piece of entertainment from this world that we live in, from my stuff. And that's really, the money's cool, the attention's dope, I guess. I don't but really for me it's like, if I can help people for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, however long it is, to kind of feel better with this crazy world, that's enough for me.
You have done that, and it's my first podcast ever. So thank you, Uncle. I call you Unc. You know, I be calling you Unc because you know that's how we do in the town. Unc,
Right. Feel me?
Unc. Put
Mm-hmm.
me on something, Unc.
Put me on something, Yeah. No, but it's
Yeah,
real. It's real because
that,
I don't want. I think, you know, I think too many bad people get attention. There are good people doing good things in this world. We
yes,
just rarely talk about them
right.
because it's good. Like, we don't talk about
And like I
good.
repost everybody, and a lot of people don't do that for me, but
Yeah.
I still do it. And I
And
do it because I genuinely do it. And I know I just got in trouble by one of my close friends was like, "Look, I know you have a big heart. You always putting, but it's me my time to shine. Stop trying to share everybody else." And I'm like, I can't. She's like, I know you can't. I know you. I know how genuine you are. I know you want everybody to win, but you got to win first before everybody else. But I'm like, well, if God has me in that position to win, I'm going to win regardless of no matter what. You know what I'm
and
saying? Just
yeah,
period. Just when I'm telling you, when you did that video for me and you had Memaw, you had that made my confidence on a whole nother level. Just that little bit. I was like, oh, you see me right here, folks. Who did you didn't? That's why I came with the leather, the red leathers on that. I said he didn't. Look, I'm feeling like a star up in him.
hey, you know what's crazy about that is I remember the first time someone retweeted me. Like they retweeted my podcast. I shout outs to them. I always name drop them. But two podcasts got me in the game. The Meaning of It All podcast. They based out of Baltimore. That's my boys. And my people. C Dot, best friend. Hey George. I'm sorry. Hey Jester. You know Pablo. That's the man who got me in the game, right?
Okay.
And you know, had they not initially even been nice to me, I wouldn't even start it. But another podcast called Texture Active out of North Carolina. Now, mind you, listen to that. Baltimore and North Carolina. This ain't nowhere near California. So these are
Right.
strangers. Texture Active podcast, those my peoples out there, producer EA, Rez, and my boy Meezy. I'm actually piloting him a little bit later on today. Shout out to him. They were the first podcast to ever retweet me on Twitter.
Wow.
Now, mind you, right? I think I had, and still don't have that big of a following on Twitter because I don't really care for it. But I think I had at the time, like, at this time, I had like 30 episodes in the tuck. And I was like, people got to hear this. I just want like at least one person to hear this and tell me what they think. So I sent it to him. I said, tell me what you think. I didn't say repost me, share me, and nothing. I said, can you please listen to this and tell me what you think? Now, mind you, in the episode, I praised them for assisting me. You know, I was like, hey, thank you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Meezy, he retweets me and he tells me, hey, Pooch, good job on the podcast. F the numbers, stay consistent.
And
F
right,
the
I
numbers,
hear that a
stay
lot. Stay
consistent.
consistent.
Exactly. That's exactly why I'm telling you this. Because it was at that moment, and I kid you not, that job I told you I got fired from, I was still working at the time. I was still going through some things with alcohol. When I got that tweet, I walked outside. I kid you not, I walked outside, I put my hands in the air, and I started crying. I just started praising God because it.
Yes.
I thought to myself at that moment, I said, I've arrived. People are going to, you know, they're going to hear me. You know, even the ones that don't want to hear me. Don't get me wrong, I get hate on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't really care about it. I don't really focus on it because it's just like, you know,
And
what's
you
up?
always that when the ones that have negative or the haters, there's always somebody to remind you why you're doing what you're doing to keep going.
Yeah, yeah,
Keep it moving.
keep it moving. Because what's pain to a giant? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to kill these ants with sledgehammers. I'm just going to step over you. I have no time to be worried about it. My life is my life. If you want to critique it, great. Am I saying I'm right all the time? No. So I'm open to opinion. But you just better make sure that opinion is positive. Because when I come to you about something I don't like, I'm not like, man, you suck, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm here to tell you, hey, you might want to switch this up. You might want to look at this. But yeah,
Period.
when I got that retweet, I was in the game. I was in this.
Exactly. And even for me, Pooch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my first show. Okay, so shout out to my boy Jerry Law 2 Raw.
Jerry Law too raw. He the wrong one. Shout out to
Jerry
him.
Law 2 Raw. He was in there too. That's my mentor. That's my dude. Town business. He got my back. I'm loyal to the soil to that brother.
He's
Because
good
he's
too,
the
y'all.
one
Go check him
that
out.
was like, you want to go on stage? And I was like, no. I said, I've always wanted to do stand up, but I don't think that I can just stand in front of people and make them laugh. Like, I can do little stuff like skits, but yeah, I don't know about that. He was like, yes, you can. He was like, you just got to get out there. And I remember my birthday, I forgot, I think it was 2019. If I'm not, all the after the pandemic, all the years go together. But 2019, I wanted to go because I love comedy. I've always watched Comic View, Def Comedy, I'm all of that. Like, I loved it. But I couldn't see myself. People would ask me that, but I'd be like, yeah, no. So that night we went to go see, I believe it was Damon Wayans, and he had opened up for Damon Wayans, and I had asked him, because you had to buy a 4-pack, and I had to get an extra. My mom wanted to come, so to bring her. And so we had a good time. He gave me this shout out, and I met, Jerry Law. That was like the first time we like communicated and things of that nature. And so that night, my friend was like, "Go stand on the stage," and I was like, "What?" She was like, "Cause one day you gonna be on this stage, so you take this picture right now." Shout out to Leslie Littlejohn, energetic hands, plug Herbalife, changing the game. And so she was like, stand on the stage, let me take the picture. And I still have the picture. And when I tell you, I cried because we was at Tommy T's outside and I took my pictures on my birthday. And then Jerry Law was like, I was trying to book my friend because she's a comedian too. Shout out to Kenya. And so I was like, I can book her. And then we went to go see one of his shows. And he was like, okay, you booking her, but are you ready? And I was like, you know what? You like the third person that has asked me, am I ready for stand up? Because y'all feel like I'm that funny. I can't keep saying it because God has obviously put these three brothers, like in different places. I was 3 different places they don't know each other, to reach out to me. I said, I'm gonna stop saying no. And I'm gonna say yeah. He said, I want to be the first person to pay you as a stand-up comedian. I said, let's do it. He like, thank you. He put me on that flyer. I was like, oh, you know, talking yourself, self doubt, self talking. Then took the anxiety to a whole nother level. I can't breathe. Excuse me, that's not wrong. That's the cough. And so I was so scared. When I tell you, my family and friends showed up,
Showed out.
all ages. It was about close to 40 people in the audience that was my people, ready. They said, we have been waiting for this moment all our lives. And I was like, what? And I did that show. And then Jerry was like, he called me. He was like, you did a great job. He was like, and he was like, man, they come to support you. He was like, hey,
you ripped it
can
up.
I develop you? We can start doing stuff together. I can start developing you every once. I did it every 4th Saturday. I was with, him, and I would, to develop myself. And then one of this other guy, Big Sass, came to one of his shows, and then he booked me at Tommy T's for all women show. Like, I'm telling you, when I met you, that was 6 months of me doing stand up. So it was a couple of months in Big Sass, and I was like, really? He was like, yes. And I did a couple of skits with him, and I bawled crying because I reflected back on that picture. And look, I might start crying now because I'm a crybaby. But I reflected back on that picture that my friend told me to take because she believed enough in me when I didn't believe. Jerry believed when I didn't believe that I can do it. Everybody believed but me, you know? And I was in tears because I said, wow. You know how they said manifestation, just prayer. When you pray years ago and everything, like my daughter, this was her last year. She graduated, and I did everything I had to do. And my mom said, "Now it's your time. This is your time. Memaw is about to go hard." She said, "This is your time. You've been the best mother that you can. You was the best wife that and she said, now is your time to live your life and have fun and do what you need to do. My dad came to my show. He like, let me see what you. Here you go. You know, he know that I do acting. He's talking about your mama and talking about we getting tickets to you doing stand up comedy. He like, girl, okay, what's she about to do? My dad called me. He said, Reek. He called me Reek. Reek. He said, I ain't gonna lie to you. Your mama told me we was coming to see you do stand up. He said, I wasn't sure you can do it. He said, but when you hit that stage, my mouth dropped to the floor. He said, girl, you got it. I said, I do, daddy. He said, you got it. He come to my show. He grades my show. Sometimes he give me some grades I don't like, and I'll be like, he said, no, I can tell, but I appreciate that, you know. And my dad, I was like, what? He said, you toe it up. He was like, you one of my favorite comedians now. And to hear that from my dad. And my mama, now she one of them go hard or go home. She gangster. She real town business. And she was like, man. And just to see people that tell me that they were in a dark place and my comedy helped them. I'm telling you, all ages, 80 and under, have came to a show to see me. And that means a lot. And even one of my sisters, Tanya Sahili, shout out to her. Her son, she's like, my son loved Memaw. You have to do a show where he's able to come and see it. So I'm working on a show where it's all ages, you know, where everybody can come. Because like I said, all ages. And that's just God saying, continue. When you can get a little kid laughing at my jokes. I have a little girl. She and I took a picture with her. She was cracking up. I said, I don't care if nobody in this whole place laughed. To see her face light up,
that's all that
and
matters.
she was cracking up, and she was talking to me on the stage and doing it. And then when I finished, she hugged me. I said, that's all I needed.
And I'll tell you this is I'll leave out with this, and we'll close out. But no matter how big it gets, please never allow fear to dictate you on that stage. I had a family member who passed away from cancer in March.
Was that the one you went to the service?
Yeah. She came out last July with some other family members to visit us in California. And I had a set that I just didn't make it to. And realistically, it was an open mic. And I didn't get there on time because I was so nervous about how I was going to do in front of my family that I didn't even make it there on time. And I remember my aunt who passed away. She said, "It's all right. We'll see you next time." It was no next time. And so I'm reminding her every time when I think about doing a show, doing a podcast, doing a skit. You can get in your head that like, I'll get it next time. Or like sometimes you allow fear to dictate it because you're scared. Don't do that. Don't do that. I do my show now how I do it just to have visual recordings. I'm a very, very sensitive man about people I care about. So looking back on it and knowing I could have had pictures of my aunt in my show, but I don't because I was too scared. It's something that literally plagues me every single day. So I'm very happy to hear that your family is supporting. My family is supporting me immensely for the ones that are here. My brother, sister, mom.
I remember your family. Wasn't your parents there?
Yeah, my my parents is there in the front seat. I had to start telling comedians that that's my parents. Please stop. Because everybody kept trying to crack jokes. I was like, they're not gonna laugh. I'm telling you right now, they're not gonna laugh. Just please stop. The people from South Memphis, they don't look how they actually are. But it was one of those things where I said this to you, just please keep going. Don't ever allow fear to dictate it. Because you never know when it's your last show, and you also never know when it's the last time someone gets to see you. And I'm pretty sure you know that. But just I don't know what you as creators think about that sometimes. This is we create a matrix. You know what I'm saying? Of a loophole for people to escape the reality for however long it is. And maybe after they visit our matrix and they come out of it, they feel a little bit better. So maybe they were going to do something that they shouldn't have done. Now they're not going to do it because they listen. Or maybe they were going to cry and be sad about something, but now, we shed light on things and they don't feel that bad about it. So as great as you are, because Memaw is great, just remember that.
And Uncle Poochie is great. And I'm just going to manifest this, that we're going to do a show together in the future. Both of us together.
Yeah.
And and it's gonna be amazing. And I can feel like we're gonna get Auntie in there too.
hopefully by then I've made enough money I can buy my hairline back.
That's okay, baby. You can buy that. We can go to Atlanta. They can put it on.
No, I'm not allowed back in Atlanta. No. That's for a conversation off the books. I'm not allowed.
But they got the hair. They can get you the hair tonight. My edges are compromised, so I be getting a little help. My edges have been compromised for the life that I have lived in my younger days.
Sister, believe me, I have no room to judge off anybody's edges.
But no, you good. You look good, though, Uncle Pooch. You look good.
I appreciate you. Before we get out of here, Memaw, please tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people what you got going on, and then all that good stuff.
Okay. I usually don't like people following me. That's back in but you can follow me now.
Mm-hmm.
I am on Instagram. It's Memaw 510. For those of you that can't spell, it's ITSMEMAW 510. And I'm also on TikTok at It's Memaw 510. Hopefully I'll be coming to the LA area soon. But as you can say, Uncle Poochie told me to keep going. So I'm going to keep on going, and you're going to see more of me. I believe I'm almost at 1,000 followers. Hopefully I can get to 1,000. Y'all help me get there. Help me. Help me. And I am just want to thank you so much for this opportunity. This is my first podcast. I'm putting that on my resume. I've been podcasting it. I'm podcasting it. Thank you for this opportunity. I thank God for bringing you in my life.
Me too.
That comedy competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I can meet you, bro.
Yeah.
I can meet you.
And listen, it is definitely an honor to have you. I mean, I didn't know this was the first podcast. Honestly, I think you're so talented. I was shocked that you want to be on. I'm still shocked people want to be on my show. I don't know why. People listen. Meanwhile, we streaming in over 40 countries now. We streaming.
You better stream in over 40 countries.
Yeah. And I don't know why.
Ain't nowhere else to go but to the top.
I don't know why.
TV show. Look here, Tyler, Nick, who else? All y'all that
I don't know why.
Pooch and Memaw show. We need it. Come on, I'm gonna manifest it. We can manifest it. We put it out there. That's what they say. Put it out there. We need our own show. Put it out there. It's out there. Somebody make it happen.
Somebody.
But Memaw show. Uncle Poochie.
But it is a blessing though, because like I said, almost 3 years ago, when I started this in my parents' basement, this was not the plan. This was never the plan.
You are doing that. You doing it. I'm 1 year in the game. May 22nd made 1 year as a stand-up comedian. Put that on my resume. I 1 year on it. And I can't wait to get back into acting and doing, plays. Mm-hmm. It's nowhere. It's just opened up my whole world again. Yeah. And I just want to see it's go hard or go home. I want to see where it can take me.
It's you versus you. And that's the one thing I love. That is probably, as a competitive person, that's probably the one thing I love. That this is really me versus me. I mean, I need help, and I have to learn how to accept help. But at the end of the day, Pooch, Keith Bernard Johnson Jr. has to get up. And
you better get it, Keith Bernard Johnson Jr. Junior.
Yeah, now you sound like my dad. Yeah, I got to get up and do it. But no, Memaw, I appreciate you. I love your energy. I love you, and I want you to keep doing great things. Okay, I know I'm gonna have you on another episode, and we'll see each other on the stage soon again.
Yes, together. Thank you.
No problem.
I keep following you. You keep following me, and let's just rise to the top. Keep
I'm gonna see you at the top. I'm gonna talk to you later, Memaw.
We're gonna get there. See ya.
No problem.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Bye, girl.
Okay, I just
You
this is
good?
real my mama. Just push the
Just push
sleep.
the button. Just push the button. Get out there.
What's the name of Uncle Poochie's podcast? 6 Feet Under. 6 Feet Under podcast.